This Monday on the Low Tox Life podcast, my guest, Gardiner Harris, investigative journalist and author, has relentlessly pursued the truth for decades. We're going to dive into his new book, No More Tears, and explore the dark secrets of pharmaceutical giant Johnson& Johnson.
The opioid crisis really doesn't explode into view until, the approval of OxyContin in 1996. Analgesic is actually approved in 1992. So basically, I make an argument in my book that the opioid crisis would never have happened if David Kessler hadn't essentially sold the FDA to the drug industry. This thing that has killed more than 500,000 Americans. And of course, the antipsychotic crisis that I talk about would never, millions of Americans have died. There's simply no doubt about this. There is no argument. Millions of Americans have died from these myriad criminal schemes, largely because Congress refused to fund the FDA.
Wow. So what I'm hearing there is that, like, the stripping of public service jobs was actually in part one of the reasons we ended up with an opioid crisis.
Oh, it is the main reason.
The main reason.
No, absolutely. I mean, because the FDA actually, this beleaguered office within the FDA, which oversaw marketing efforts. And oftentimes, there was like one little guy in there.
Yeah.
Responsibility for looking at thousands and thousands of these ads. But nonetheless, they sent out these warning letters to Johnson& Johnson again and again and again and again, saying, you can't describe fentanyl as non-addicting. Like, that's impossible. That is so crazy. You've got to stop. But
that sounds like a friendly friend kind of saying, come on, mate.
Right,
it doesn't sound particularly threatening.
Right. And Johnson&Johnson, which spends more on lawyers than any company in the world,